We're talking business thanks to our partners 2 Degrees, and Business Desk Garth Bray has been looking at this ComCom draft decision on using Huntly Power Station. It was released at 8 o'clock this morning. Garth, what do we know?
Well, look, it's not that much of a surprise, I think, that they've ticked this off, because the Commerce Commission was sort of telling us at the time, hey, look, make sure you understand that the gentailers have brought this to us. We haven't asked them to bring it to us. So I think this was really kind of a pro forma look. I mean, obviously they've studied this pretty carefully because it's a contentious issue. We're expecting the government to make some decisions about the nature of the energy market in the next 24 hours, aren't we? So, but this is basically a deal that says Huntly Power Station, which runs primarily on burning stuff, mostly, and has part of that, one of its turbines that was basically going to be decommissioned in about February next year, unless someone came up with the money to change that plan. Basically, Genesis said, we don't need to keep this running. We're only keeping it there for the benefit of the country and the market in general. So how about you guys chip in and take it off our balance sheet? They came up with a thing called a Huntly firming option, which is basically a deal to pay for some of the cost of maintaining it, but also to buy in some of that Indonesian coal. I think they've since done a deal to try and mine some locally. And I guess the Commerce Commission was looking at that because there was the 4 big gentailers that had struck that deal, and this, to the rest of the market, smells a bit like the 4 big players basically cutting a deal that will be preferential for them. The deal in there suggests that the draft determination that's come out says there's about, I'm just going to check the number, 135 megawatts of capacity that remains available outside this deal. It's quite a substantial amount. I mean, like Tekapō, Genesis schemes only slightly higher than that, is available, and they will create what are called shaped hedges, which we've talked about before, nothing to do with topiary and mazes, everything to do with basically creating a power product that you can buy as a retailer to sort of get you through tricky parts of the year when either demand is high or supply is lower. And they're saying that will create the ability to offer this on reasonable terms. But the problem is, how reasonable are those terms going to be? The submissions from everyone from, other power companies, 2 Degrees, a bunch of different people saying, hey, listen, you've got to be really careful about this because we think there's too much incentive in there for the big players to just keep things the way they are, to continue to offer, they say, their retail arms
Sweetheart deals.
Sweetheart deals.
And then the problem for us as consumers is if you have that concentration and you don't have the competition, then we all end up paying high prices.
So this looks like this is draft approval, so they're still saying, hey, we'd like some more information if anyone's got a problem with that. It looks like it's going to go through, but it's a question of whether there'll be any kind of tweaks to make the excess capacity a bit more transparent and make it a bit clearer so that it's a fair deal. Yeah.
Is it? They've almost got no choice, do they? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they could stand in the way and say, oh no, well, we can't have that, and then what? We're all buggered.
Well, then, basically you've kicked the generator into touch, haven't you? The backup generator, so that if we have a cold year or a dry year again or whatever, you're going to start to see power shortages and cuts, and nobody wants cold showers by candlelight, as Malcolm Johns from Genesis Energy told me.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Garth. Thank you very much. Garth Bray, Business Desk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. 18 minutes away from 9. Coming up, long haul flying, love it.